And that's why I kind of like working with you is just like positive attitude, faith in the thing, and like easily enough, like we are able to see results within the first like week or two joining the
Yeah.
program. So that's freaking
I,
awesome,
and
right?
like it really helped. Like seriously, it really helped. And like I knew me, I'm a thinker, I like to analyze and evaluate, and the risk to reward and the opportunity cost, just all made sense to work with you, because the opportunity cost, it was too great if I didn't, and the risk seems so low. Oh shoot, you miss all the shots you don't take. Like super flexible with me. That was my biggest,
Hmm.
just understanding where I'm at, and if you can make something happen, because the last thing I wanted to do was waste your time and, like not make this something that it could have been, um
Hmm.
for whatever reason. So thankfully, it was just the right time, and it was, I think,
Yeah.
inevitable too. So
Yeah, and definitely, I'm glad we ended up working together because I know originally, because kind of like your starting point, right? This kind of like naturally segues into the interview, so I guess we can just kind of like go into it. But like, why don't you kind of just go into explaining kind of like your starting point? I know originally, right, you had gone into another person's program. You're kind of your 0% was ending and all that. So why don't you just kind of like start off like before joining the program? Well, where were you at as far as like credit knowledge?
yeah, so I mean, I've prior to the program, I mean, I've had a good general idea of credit. Always kept my score good, always paid on time, gotten car loan, refinanced into good interest rates, kind of had a good
Hmm.
basic general knowledge. But as far as like how to, where to apply benefits, like I would say the real value of credit, aside from just having a good score that, gets you into an apartment to rent, or a home to buy, like, or a car, like actually having it is an asset, something that you can utilize to like really help you and grow. Um, like I knew that credit is important. I knew if you get good interest rates, lines of credit, like stuff like
Hmm.
that, it's great. Um, and like, of course, hearing about 0% interest, especially it being the wave the past year, probably 2 years or so. Um, I didn't really understand how attainable it was until working with you. And I really didn't understand how attainable, um, loans and lines of credit and all of that stuff is
Hmm.
attainable.
You
Because
probably thought you had to have like all this money in the bank and stuff like that, like super old business, right? Before like being able to get approved for
yeah,
those large limits.
because you don't
Yeah.
really know. Like that's a good old saying. You don't know what you don't know. So like you have
Yeah.
no idea
Right.
where to start. You don't know. I mean, bro, there's thousands of banks. Like, which bank do I
Yeah.
go to? Like, So I knew, and this is, the benefit of working with somebody that knows the field. I knew working with you, you know more, so investing into you and working with you, partnering with you, it would help me to get what I need so that my needs are met, and you know it's a win-win for both of us, especially
Exactly.
because you provided so much, especially in such a little bit of time. If you ask me, I mean, literally, I don't like literally where I'm at in this very moment, the way I feel, everything about this moment, it wouldn't be possible if it wasn't had I worked with you, because that bought me more time, it bought me more leverage, it's allowed me to have a
Hmm.
great relationship, which Lord willing will transpire into other things. So the cost, that's why I mentioned the opportunity cost. It was not the opportunity cost to not work with you, even though it was a good amount, a couple grand, because and I say that because some people might think, "Oh man, couple grand," and it's like they can't break the barrier of understanding, well, what's the opportunity cost and how
Yeah,
much.
like if I don't do this, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
because it might cost
C- c-
you 7,000 up front, but the opportunity cost, I mean, it might cost you maybe 4 months, which who knows how you value that, and then it might cost you an extra
all the
$10,000
interest.
or yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a good way to
Cause
put it, all of the interest.
yeah, cause when you came into like you had some 0% cards that you had applied for, kind of got like, so limits and stuff. And then like I think too some of those cards like either the 0% had ran out or there just wasn't any 0% at all. And it's just like, all right, if we're not doing anything right now, like that, like we're paying 25% interest on this. Like we
Yeah,
need to get this thing solved right now, sooner rather than
yeah,
later. So that makes a lot of sense as far as like opportunity cost, which I don't think most people think of is they just see the upfront price, but they don't see like how's okay, one, I'm losing time, you know, two, the interest rates, and then also losing out on opportunities for our sake of like and being able to invest in more deals. Cause like even for you, like right, you have like a business partner, you're potentially even investing in that boba shop with them with the funding that he's not able to get. So you're coming in kind of almost as that private money lender. And then we were able to like literally I know it was like the first week, right? We immediately got like that 25-30K to help pay
yeah,
off your debt, right? So we brought it down from
yeah,
like 25% interest down to like 7%, which was crazy,
yeah, it
right?
was way better, you know, way better than because me, I don't even like to pay interest, so I wanna pay
No,
as
I don't
little as
either.
possible. So,
Yeah.
to go from 28% to, yeah, 10%, it was like, wow, it's already saving a bunch because if it's 28% on 2 cards, one balance was like 8,300 bucks, another balance was like, I think, 4,500 bucks, which isn't too bad, but at the same time, it was like I just don't like that number of 28%, 27%. So to consolidate it down, make one payment, and then have a term involved with it. So I have a set date. For me, it definitely
Mhm.
makes sense. Because of course I'd like to throw all the extra money I can, but like if I'm throwing money at that debt and then I'm getting eaten up at interest, I can't use that money for other things, whether it be
Yeah,
opportunity or just even day to day living.
exactly.
And I don't want to be cutting my day to day living expenses or my lifestyle unless I absolutely have to. So it was able to basically stretch my dollar. I would probably say it like that, stretch my dollar. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, it's freaking it was fast, it was fun. I liked the way it was funded, wired to the account, like, that's freaking
Literally
great.
the next freaking day, right? Like
Yeah.
so quick. And by getting those utilizations down, now we're able to apply for way more like 0% business
Oh,
credit
yeah.
funding,
Oh,
which helped
yeah.
us out.
Because yeah,
Um,
that's big is the utilization, and, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but, like, even just having a little over 30%, I want my profile even if that means taking on more debt, I want my profile to look as clean as possible because even when my profile looks great, I've learned with you is that even if you have debt, you can take on more debt to just basically debt manage and rearrange it or free up extra cash or disperse extra cash.
mhm.
And in all honesty, I mean, it's basically just like literally extra money that you have. Obviously, you want to use it wisely. So,
Yeah, of course.
that's
Don't want to
obviously
be
what
spending some stupid shit.
yeah, that's
But
obviously
like,
what
yeah,
we
like
do
we,
with
we
it.
moved the debt around. We took out a little bit more debt at like lower interest or like 0% interest so
Yeah.
that we're not paying any interest at all. And now, because like even before joining the program, right? I know kind of like a big objection for you is just like, look, like I already joined a program, didn't really get what you needed, already spent a couple grand. And I was like so easy to work with you. I was just like, look, like I want to make you a
Yeah, I agree.
testimonial into that. of like, look, not all these big influencers who have like this big following, like they don't have time for you, you know.
No,
Um,
I was blown away. I mean, I was shocked, you know. It sucks when you buy into something, and just to give some context, you know, me meeting you in December of 2022 or October of 2022 at the Ryan Pineda event, getting to know
mhm.
you, having a good time when I met you, your attitude, your character, that for me is what always stuck with me
Well, thank you,
even
man.
throughout the months of us not literally that's the and just being transparent, that's the only reason I decided I want to work with that guy is because I like you. I like you, who Miggle is, his character.
Dude, thank you, man.
And
That means a lot. Hell yeah.
yeah, like, good people want to be around good people. They always say opposites attract. And like my previous partner told me he doesn't believe that. And like, I don't think I do either. I think that
Hmm.
like attracts like. We see dogs with dogs, we see cats with
Yeah, we're
cats.
all trying to fucking get some shit. Like,
Yeah,
you see me out here
like,
working, hustling, getting results, and you're like, also
yeah.
too, just like the like personality, dude. Like, I'm glad you see that, dude. That actually means like a lot, dude. I was trying to be as genuine and
Yeah.
helpful as possible.
And of course everybody's personality types are different, but and I can only speak for me. For me it was relieving, especially in an entrepreneurial lifestyle. You don't always connect with other entrepreneurs, people that
It's
you
a lonely world out here, dude. It's a lonely
hey,
world out here.
yeah, even your friends that are doing business, that doesn't mean that they are going to be around you. I mean, I know plenty of friends doing real estate, but like they're doing their own thing. So like they're
Hmm.
not, I don't see them all the time. So it's definitely lonely. So it's even a it's a bigger blessing to be able to like recognize, hey, that guy's really cool. I like him. Wow, we had a good time together. Okay, what can this potentially transpire into more? He knows
Hmm.
something I don't know. How can we work together? What do I have to pay? What is it in order for us to potentially work together, keep that energy, and inevitably you're going to grow. So, of course, that's something I'm always
Yeah.
paying attention to. And
Hell yeah, dude. I love that.
you've done so much better than the previous guys. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just calling it like I see it. This is not disrespect or anything like that. I think that they know how to get what they know how to get. They're knowledgeable in the credit game too, but they're just there were a couple things that like me, I'm big on communication. You're way more fun to
Hmm.
communicate with, and I reiterate fun, because and that's just my opinion, cause my personality, you're a
Yeah.
fun guy to talk with and, hang around. Um, those guys, I don't know them personally. I just knew them from online, and, they just don't
Yeah.
really have time, even though they make it seem like they have time. And in reality, I learned that these guys, they're just trying to grow a community and get paid off of the community. And when I look at it like they're going to try to squeeze the juice out of the community as much as possible. And then when they've hit this point of, okay, I think I've given enough, or I've, squeezed enough juice out of this community, whatever that might look like, I'm going to now
Hmm.
upcharge them, or I'm going to create a new product and I'm going to make them buy it again. Cause that's exactly what happened to me is I already bought in. I
Yeah,
already
right.
bought in,
Already paid a
and
couple grand for it. Like,
yeah, and then now they're like, "Oh, yes," and they told me, "Oh, yeah, 0% interest, the 50K, like all these big numbers." And I'm like, "Okay, great. 2,500 lifetime access. That's amazing." And then I get in, I have a meeting or two, and they give me a rundown. They gave me great information, but like then as I'm about to start applying, they start letting me know they changed their whole program and said, "Oh, so now we're going to charge 10% every approval we get you." And they're
that's
gonna go get me
crazy.
50K. Yeah, they're gonna go get me 50K, and it's like, okay, so I already paid you 2,500. Our original agreement is you're gonna get me funding. I have lifetime access to you, and then now you're gonna charge me a success fee for all of the
Yeah,
credit
they
debt, and I have to pay you
yeah.
immediately upon credit approval via the credit. It's like, bro, like I
You guys
didn't
already
buy
got
into
25
this.
out of me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you guys
bro, I
like
didn't.
switched it up.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't mind paying the success fee, and in a way, that's kind of what you did with me because you took me on. You said, "Oh, I see your situation." I told you straight up, man, I just don't want to cash out a couple grand right now. Um, and you're like, all right, bro, that's no worries. And, you took me on as if I already did. And we came up with a plan. And I even said, man, bro, like, I don't want to not get funding because if I don't get the funding, then like, you just
You're in the
did
same
this.
spot.
Yeah. You
Did
just
the
did
same
this
thing the
work
other
for
guys
me.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Oh
I just
yeah,
did,
yeah.
I didn't want you to do work and then you not get paid, because I value your time.
Mhm.
And of course, that was, I guess, a risk that we both decided to take. And you knew better than me. And obviously it
Yeah.
worked out. And immediately as the funds hit, wire you the money. And I remember you even told me, like, you don't have to use that money to pay me. We could go get another card, pay out of that one with 0%, whatever you want. And I was like, nah, like, we need to make sure Miggle's taken care of first because
Hey,
like
thank you. Yeah.
that's why I'm working with you. Like you already have chosen to take me on and like be very flexible with me. And despite us having history, that means a lot to me. And I want to show any way I
Reciprocate
can,
it.
yeah, my
Yeah.
gratitude, you know what I mean? And you've
Thank
outperformed
you,
them
man.
100%. And like I said, I know that they're good at what they do, but there's a connection
They're
between
trying
me and you.
to
And
Yeah.
I enjoy genuine, it's just because I know you, I've met you, and especially, trying to get somebody to pay for more when you've already charged them. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
little
right.
like I
They
was
they
really
came in with
close.
the they sold you on the coaching and then tried to sell you on like a done for you thing because that's weird because like in this space there's like
Exactly.
either you coach me and I do it myself or you charge me a success fee of 10% and you do it for me and they kind of fucked you on both and
Yeah.
ju- having you kind of join the program knowing that situation I was just like all right dude I already know you got fucked over by these people I'm not gonna like gouge you but like here's the price how could we make it lower how could we get you in for little money down just because like for me like if people don't pay they don't pay attention and I just wanted to make sure justice was serious about it because I have let people in the program where I was just like all right just pay me off with the funding and surprisingly enough those are the guys who take up 80% of my time or those are the
Wow,
guys
really?
who don't do
Wow.
any of the work so that's why I was just like okay I know you I was so confident I was like I literally told you like this should not take us more than 2 weeks to get funding like that's the only
Yeah.
reason why we're doing it. I was just like, give me like a couple $100, just pay me off for the funding, and you still get that 100K minimum guarantee, and we'll just keep crushing with it. And I'm glad I was able to like over deliver on those promises and just keep it
Yeah,
going
totally,
because
bro.
like with the guys you went with, from what you told me, you're saying right, you paid the 2,500. They switched up their offer, and then on top of that, like there wasn't really any support, right? It was just community and probably
No.
just some videos and kind of just high
Yeah.
level overview of things, like not step by step,
Yeah.
right?
No, it was not detailed.
Like at
I
all, because
I mean,
that's
don't get
what
me
they're trying
wrong.
to do is sell you on the other thing. They're like, all right, let's give them
Yeah.
just a little bit enough, like you're saying,
Yeah.
squeezing the juice.
Yeah, don't get me
That's
wrong. They
funny.
have a course and all that stuff, but like me, um I just I wasn't really like, bro, I'm paying you so that I can come to you, and when I have a meeting with you, you're going to give me the game plan and we're going to run that game plan. And like, you want to, and I'll be honest with you, one of the guys, he was very like, literally the first call I had with him, I literally told him on the phone on the meeting, I said, bro, you really sound like you do not give a shit. Like, straight up.
You told him that?
Yeah, bro. I told,
Damn,
like,
that's
just
crazy.
his attitude, the way he talked, I was like, bro, I just fucking paid you, and like, I'm not holding this back, bro. Like, I just,
Yeah,
like,
like
you need to know how I feel because we're working together and I paid you. Like, if anybody's in a position to critique
To
anybody,
not
it's
give a
me.
fuck.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
me and
yeah.
humor. And he told me, he's like, he just like laughed, and I was kind of shocked he laughed because I didn't think he
Because you
would.
didn't even
Like,
like trying to hide it.
yeah, because he's just so like dead. Like, he had no personality. He was just like dead, like nothing. And he's just like, oh, long day and stuff. So I'm like, okay, like, all right. But that just really stuck with me. And like, I can really tell he's not like, he'll help you. And I get it. People are straight to the point. I totally respect that. But I think there
Hmm.
really needs to be a level, if you're going to take on clients, there needs to be a level of customer service, and
And
that's going to
giving a
come
fuck.
from who you are. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, just give a
to a
shit.
degree.
Like, dude, somebody just paid you like a couple of grand. You can't just be kind of like half-assing this. You know what I mean? Because like for a lot
I
of people,
mean,
that's a lot of money, right?
yeah. And
So,
even just acting, I mean, dude, just acting nice. I mean, a lot of people don't want to do that. Oh, I don't want to act. I want to be my true, authentic self. Well, I would say that the top entrepreneurs, yeah, they want you to get to the point and be straight up. But, bro, like people like Tillman Fertitta, they're like, we act happy. I don't give a damn if you're not happy or not. You're acting happy for the
mhm.
customer. And I
Yeah,
mean, maybe it's just
definitely.
my personality type. I don't know. But, you know, a lot of turnoffs, dude. A lot of turnoffs. And of
Yeah.
course, you're total opposite. So all of that was just like, okay, well, this is my place to be. And I knew when I met
Hell
you,
yeah.
I told you when I met you in 2022, bro, we're gonna work together. Like, let me know,
I
keep me
remember that,
posted.
dude, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it
And
took
I'm
a little
glad like
while.
you've been following that journey too, and it's just like, dude, Miggle's serious about this. You've been seeing like the student wins and just kind of like the level of service, because like I know for us when we were kind of like comparing like apples to oranges, right? Because you were just at that time too, you were just like very tight on money. I think with the job you were doing too, you were leaving it. You're also getting juiced up by that service provider, and then on top of that, kind of getting squeezed out by like the interest rates. So you're in a very like tight corner. It was just for you and I, like
A lot
I
of
just
changes
wanted to make
are
it as
happening.
yeah, and even right now, literally within like last couple months, like beyond the credit, like your life, what we were talking about earlier, is just taking a completely different turn, and I do think part of that comes from just working together, because I feel like if you're too worried about like bills and like getting squeezed out by interest rates, it's hard to come in with like an abundant mindset, like you said, having a good
I
attitude.
agree.
So I think that definitely helps. Um, as far as kind of like working with me on the program, like kind of comparing, like I said, the apples to oranges, like kind of the biggest thing I was kind of selling you on is like, okay, dude, I see where you're at. Like, you know, you got this big influencer, they sold you, they put shit on a platter and sold it to you and said it was like caviar. And kind of what I came in was just like, look, dude, I got videos, they're step by step, like retard proof videos, just follow the directions, like seriously easy. And then I was just like, we got the community, you could reach out to me, call me anytime. And I think the thing that really sold it for you, and correct me if I'm wrong, was really just the one-on-ones, right? Of just literally telling you, hey, this is where you're at. Here's exactly what we need to fucking
Oh
do.
yeah.
Just go do it, then we'll reconnect, right?
Yeah, dude. It was so nice, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a leader. I'm not the best because I'm young and I'm learning. However,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a stage where I am okay with following people because that's going to help me be a good leader. But following
Exactly.
following is going to teach me what I need to know, where I can improve, what I need to know. And I know you have success in this, so I was like, bro, just tell me what to do. Like, that's the employee side of me and not the entrepreneur side where I'm like, just tell me what to do,
Mm-hmm.
bro. I don't need all this extra stuff. Tell me what to do, bro. Let me just go do it. Like, and
Yeah. You
for
just
some
hop on the
people,
one-on-ones and collect cash, dude. Like literally,
yeah, like,
right?
yeah, and even now, like, we have a document for all the stuff we've done, and like, it's so personable. It's really
Mm-hmm.
personable, and it's really nice, bro. Like, to be that personal, it's not often, and you know, it's nice. It's very nice. It's hard to
It's
express, honestly. It's really hard to express. You don't come across
no,
nice, genuine a coach, bro, like really
yeah.
right there with you, like, you know,
Let's
it's
fucking
it's
do
really
this
nice.
shit.
It's
Like,
yeah, bro.
like that
It's really nice.
accountability.
Yeah,
Because like also too, like there's so many big like coaching is great. I love it. I feel like this has always been my calling, but like there's so many big people in the coaching space, which congrats to them. And I'm sure in their earlier stages when they're in the hunting and grinding mode, they probably did a better level of service. But I do feel like at a certain point people kind of fall off and they just kind of lose that touch with the people that they're selling high ticket to because they just don't have the time, which I get, but also it makes me very appreciative to one work with students like you who are motivated, who are taking action,
yeah,
can follow the directions, but two, to be able to believe in somebody. Like for me, I've only got I'm like at the time of this recording just kind of like starting out, so it takes a level of trust between you and I. Obviously you and I have already met before, but like with other students too, have just seen my ads. They're like, dude, I'm about to pay this middle kid high ticket. Like, why would I do that? But it's just like when people kind of see that perspective of like, do I want to go with like this big brand name guy who has like a million followers who I'm never even going to talk to, which is what they don't realize is that level of support, or kind of believing in the young guy that does have those results but doesn't have like a million followers. So like it just like really I just really appreciate like you and then like also all the other students who like trusted me to like guide them in that direction. Cause for me, I'm just like, dude, like I like my whole thing is under promise, over deliver, build out testimonials, relationships. That's how I'm gonna get referrals. But like honestly, sometimes it's at first it used to scare me when people would pay me a bunch of money because I'm like, all right, I gotta fucking deliver. But I always make sure like how do I take whatever they're paying me and make sure they're getting at least double, 3x, 5x
oh
of
yeah, bro.
that
I
value
mean,
return to
I
justify
mean,
it?
look at my situ and this basic numbers. Everybody will have a different opinion, but do you mind if I share how much you had me pay?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
So I pay you 5K, and then within 2 weeks, you get me back 20K. Simple
Hmm.
math, that's a 4x return on my money if I was going to go and invest that money. So
Yeah,
even
exactly.
though it is debt and technically it's not a return, I'm paying you 5, you're coming back and giving me 20 so that I can go wisely use that 20 and find an investment that's worthwhile, consolidate debt, whatever you got to do. Most people do not know where to go get 20K that is good interest rate. And I truly believe they're going to go to their local bank or somewhere that they know, but little do they know that that doesn't maybe have really what they need. And then they have all these hoops they have to go through. Whereas going to somebody like you, it might cost up front. And yes, some people you might have to take on that debt if they don't have the cash, but you're taking on a little bit of debt to get more than what you would normally get. And had I gone somewhere
Hmm.
that I know, I might have only gotten 10,000 or something like that. I'm not really too sure. Um,
And
and
the thing too is we're not even done yet, dude. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I
that was
actually
just the
had this
first round.
objection with yeah, I had this objection with somebody. They're like, oh, if I pay you, like, or are you like, I'm worried you're gonna run off. Like even with you, like I got you results within the first week of joining the program, and we're still hopping on one-on-ones like every other week and shit. So it's just like the job's not done. The 100K like isn't hit yet, and even after that, like I've helped like Anton, another person in this group, get over 100K. I'm still hopping on one-on-ones with them. So like that's kind of like what I mean, and I'm glad you see that too, just like that level of support. And I think
Yeah.
also too, just like giving a fuck. You know what I mean? At the
Yeah,
end
I
of the day, I get
agree.
selfishly, I'm trying to get paid, and I'm not getting paid unless you guys get paid. And I'm trying to get referrals, testimonials, and like honestly, you and I wouldn't hop on this client interview if I fucked you over. So I
Yeah,
mean,
totally.
that's always been like a big thing I focus on is like,
Yeah.
how do I justify what I'm doing out here? And yeah, that's awesome, dude. Well, I'm super stoked and glad that you've gotten the value from this. I'm gonna keep helping you get more funding. Like the job's not done.